Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Myriad Uranium's channel with globalized uranium exploration assets as we talk about the uranium price 2024 outlook and just kind of highlighting everything going on here. We got Thomas, the CEO, joining us as always. Welcome back, sir.
Good to see you. It's nice to be back.
Happy New Year's and a pleasure to get you on. So yeah, uranium continues to be holding some decade highs here, which is pretty astounding, especially with where you guys are headed. But first and foremost, before we talk about uranium, maybe just kind of give us some 2024 highlights for newer investors that might be stumbling on to Myriad and what makes it such an intriguing investment.
Yeah, so Myriad did its deal to acquire a 75% earnable interest in the Copper Mountain, Wyoming uranium project. Did that deal in October 18th. So it's only been a few months. The world is just digesting this. And we're just at in the early innings with this really very exciting uranium project that has millions of pounds in the ground in Wyoming. Estimates between 15 and 30 million of a resource. This is historic. And 60 million and above in terms of estimates for parts of the deposit. These are historic estimates for this, again, Copper Mountain Uranium Project in Wyoming. And we're right at the beginning, and this is why 2024 is going to be so exciting, of bringing these historic resources current under Canadian securities law. And we're going to be able to tell the world about what we have today. And that is what 2024 is all about. This leads to just a step change, an order of magnitude increase in the value of companies when you take these historic resource estimates and you bring them current. So we have millions of pounds of uranium. We have a whole pile of historic data. Your viewers, if they've been following, they've seen some of the prior videos, or they know our company, they know that, we've acquired this interest in this great project. We've got all this historic data, and we're going through it, and we are finding out about all this uranium we've got. And 2024 is about confirming that and hopefully enabling this massive step change, order of magnitude, maybe 2 orders of magnitude increase in the share price. That is the plan. That's what we're hoping for. And all this is going to be enabled by this incredible jump in the uranium price that is just mind-blowing. I mean, not very long ago, uranium was $30 a pound. It was still a very good price for some. And it's now, I mean, sellers on the spot market are asking today $95 a pound for uranium. And they're just, yeah, we'll get into that, I'm sure. But
Yeah.
that's what 2024 is all about. We're going to bring our historic resource. We're going to work to bring it current. It's going to be very exciting.
Yeah, and while we've been sitting here, like you mentioned, as you've been kind of acquiring these assets and starting to move this forward, I mean, it's only been benefiting greatly for these pounds in the ground. But talk about a little bit of the supply-demand metrics here. I know we've discussed some of this in the past, but it remains to hold incredibly strong. And do you think this is going to be a huge proponent of the renewable future?
So this is it. I mean, the world has just cottoned on in the last year, I would say, um, to the fact that uranium/nuclear is the only answer to get to net zero, carbon neutral situation. If you're a climate change person, if you want affordable, stable, if your focus is just affordable, stable, baseload energy, this is the answer. Solar, wind there's good things about them, of course, but they just are, depend on the sun and the wind. Nuclear is it. And I just want your viewers to understand too that this is a new era for nuclear. It is extremely safe. That is why you have the green parties throughout Europe who were all formed as anti-nuclear political parties. They've all come on board and they're all pro-nuclear. The only exception is Germany, but all the Scandinavian countries, all the Western European country green parties have all switched to being pro-nuclear. Greta Thunberg is not against nuclear, even she is. And Germany is switching too because they're going to be forced to. So in terms of supply demand, you have all these Western countries, US, Canada, Japan, everywhere, even Australia is going to come around. And then of course you got China, India. So everybody is building nuclear power plants, keeping the existing ones online, building small modular reactors. That's the demand story. The demand is strong and growing. Supply is extremely tricky. Historically there have been all these nuclear weapons that you've been able to decommission, take the material out of it, and turn that into fuel for nuclear reactors. Well, that's run out, and because the price of uranium was low for a long time after Fukushima about 12 years ago, because the price has been low, no new mines have come on, and there are very few potential new mines that could come on the next few years. But yet, so you have supply going up. You got no, nuclear weapons are not being decommissioned. You just do not have mines that are coming on, and all of that is leading to this skyrocketing uranium price. And it's not like cobalt or copper or gold or wherever, where the uranium mine, or sort of the mines for cobalt, copper, gold are out there, and they can just expand, their areas and start digging, more of the commodity out of the ground. You can't do that with uranium. It doesn't work that way. So you can't just increase supply of uranium and production of uranium. It is very complicated. The sort of the mines are not designed that way to just add massive production. Kazakhstan is at its limit. Um, uh, and then on top of this, and I think you were alluding to this, you got the whole Russia-Ukraine situation. So Russia makes the fuel rods for a lot of the world's reactors, and the West is going to stop that, and Russia may just cut that off strategically just to make life interesting for everybody. It might do that anyway itself. So once that happens, things are going to go nuts. You have another thing happening, United States politics. Both parties have agreed they need a massive domestic increase in uranium production to be secure. And that's us. And that's coming. Very exciting times in Wyoming. Wyoming, where we're located right in the center of the state, it is the jurisdiction in the US for uranium production. 78% of historic production produced there, I believe. Massive support. We're in the center of the best state with millions of pounds of uranium. Politics have lined up. Supply demand is, it's going our way. Uranium prices are just going to keep going up and up from here. You can quote me. You can bank on it. There's just no way it goes down.
Yeah, anecdotally as well, just for a few facts, because I discussed with some people about this. It's kind of entertaining that, between wind and solar, nothing against it, but they actually have a higher carbon footprint than nuclear, and a higher injury and death rate than nuclear, which blows most people mind. But like you mentioned, when it comes to Fukushima or Chernobyl, those were very few events that get echoed through history. Whereas when you look at the electrical components and the work involved in setting up, wind and, solar, there's a lot, you can see why there's a lot more injuries when there's a lot more footwork involved to build out that infrastructure. So it's a very
100%.
interesting conversation, but I'll pass it off to the viewers. We'd love to know what you think, and consider subscribing, because as news and catalysts continue to come into play, of course, we'll bring it to you here. But on that note, as always, we look forward to catching you in the next one.